how's it going?
Howdy, what's happening?
Well, not much. Trying to get in the trick mood.
I got you. I got Logan joining us here in the engine room.
Yeah, I see that. Hello.
Now we gave him a chair where he could sit on screen.
And howdy and howdy.
Hello.
Logan says his foray into DMing is giving him confidence. He may run for us too.
Cool. Yeah, actually. I'd look forward to that. I think you're glitching there. Yeah, okay. We'll wait for C to catch up. There you go.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty.
Yeah, that
Seems to be.
was a big glitch there.
Yeah.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, Mickey, how's it going?
It's going.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I read in the paper, the Tennessean had an article about DCS. And they said,
I'm sorry.
have you? Well, you know what's going to be in there. But the number,
whatever
really,
it is, it's probably worse.
It was they were talking about the turnover rate of first year reps in the department. 60%. Yeah,
That's
60%.
about what I would have figured.
That's nuts. I mean, wow.
It's 25-30% overall, I would bet, and that's seasoned people, which is scary because once you've got 10 years in with the state, it is very prohibitive to leave.
So it was just reinforcing everything you said. So it was pretty stark.
Been a long year.
Yeah, I imagine. So how things been going aside from that?
It's been all right. John finally got a hard drive in, so we're going to get her up and running on Guild Wars and Champions. I'll run through Champions as far as we've already gone at some point. And Guild Wars took 5 minutes to get through the first little bit, so.
Yeah, Guild Wars shouldn't be hard to pick up at all.
Yeah, I got both of those downloaded. I'm still working on transferring files back to where they belong.
It's always pain when a hard drive dies like that.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask.
It did turn.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it did turn out the following day after I thought that drive was completely dead, that I was able to re-access some of those files that I didn't get, and so I quickly managed to get those saved. So I think I saved everything.
Cool. So I think you'd mentioned one of the other of you have a very old hand-me-down from Neff.
Yeah, that's mine.
All right. I may have something more recent. There's the machine that I used to use for my VR stuff. I haven't even turned it on in like 3 months because it's in my office, the work at home place, so I don't use it. Use the work laptop. So that might be something. And it's less than 9 years old. It has that advantage. I don't know if it's a great upgrade, but it might be something. So I'll look into kind of getting it slaked, and we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember when we got this from Neff.
It's been a while.
Yeah, if it's a 9-year-old machine, then I think this one will be a significant upgrade because it was good enough to run a VR headset. That was what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out. And as for Guild Wars, Champs, I think you'll just like because I saw what Miki had made, and I remember that guy. So the hilarity of us trying to stumble over each other, trying to figure out where the hell we are when we start taking off in our various travel forms. That is hilarious. Mickey goes, bing, and he's off screen. He's disappeared,
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was, what was it, Jason? Poor Jason had the acrobatic skill, which is, I think it's probably the least taken travel skill even though there are many significant advantages to it, simply because it's not flashy. It's you're jumping around and doing somersaults everywhere you go, right? But it has big advantages in that it doesn't take endurance. All the other travel skills take endurance. But the biggest disadvantage is if you want to like jump off of a tall wall, ouch. Acrobatics is not your friend. Whereas damn near all these other travel skills are great. Great. Like Keegan over here, teleport, no problem. Ding, bing, and he just. And of course, Mickey falls from great heights all the time. Perfectly used to it. So, I think that was probably the most fun we had, or the most frustration. Fun frustration. Funration? I don't know. Is that a word?
I think the least taken powers are things like earth flight and ice flight.
Maybe burrowing, because it's very much. It's not like super speed, and yeah, it has some limitations. Although I always love burrowing because the mobs don't see you. You just literally go right past them. It's kind of like teleport like that.
Flight and jetpack seem to be the ones that are the least difficult to maneuver or navigate or figure out. But super jump has been a lot of fun.
I love super jump. My absolute favorite, like I said, was the rocket jump. But you go even higher with rocket jump. And yeah, I love it. I'm pretty sure the next time we do champs, E is going to regale us with a swinger, the swing travel
I
power.
don't know what Donald is.
Quick respec.
I'd have to retcon him.
Yeah.
Though actually, I bet you if I took any of these guys back to the powerhouse, they'd have a retcon waiting for them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. That's respec in Champions Online is retcon.
Well, they have a respec that lets you redo your advantage points. It's a lesser respec. Whereas if you want to replace powers, you have to do a retcon.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm kind of run out of real estate. 5 monitors, and I don't have enough room for all these damn windows. Oh, okay. Well, we'll make it work. And I kind of hope folks will like Guild Wars too. It's easy. It's not a difficult game to master, and I found it quite enjoyable. It's not. It's kind of the casual MMO, and yeah, they're serious. They've got raids. They got all that stuff, but you don't really need to bother with any of it. You just kind of wander around doing your thing. It's perfectly fine. Oh, what was
you
the
said
other
there's
thing?
a way to travel between cities. How do you do that? Because I created a character, fiddled around, got the free bag for giving it my email address.
And that bag is on that character, wherever that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. There are free to use what's called Azran gates. They look just like giant portals. Think of that picture behind you, right? They're located in all of the major cities. So you have to find your major city, which is not far from the starting area. Like if you're a Norn, you literally turn around and walk, and you're in the major city. Once you find it, it takes you to a high-level hub zone called Lionsgate. You're safe in Lionsgate. Don't leave Lionsgate. But within Lionsgate, there is another cluster of these gates, and they just go to all the different places. So if you want to go to the Norn city from Lionsgate, then you'll take the Holbrook Azran Gate, and that's the Holbrook being the name of the capital city of the Norn. So that's how you travel between cities, and you can do it as a low-level character. I think there's nothing stopping you. But I got a couple of I got a ton of Guild Wars 2 characters, and several of them I hadn't leveled all that far, so I got a few of them over there. We shall see.
Well, I've killed the big Minotaur and handed it to the dude, and that's pretty much all I've done so far.
Okay, well, you're not out of the starter area yet. Right, I see the definition of starter area. You go ahead and finish that introductory area, and then you'll be in the starter area. Because there's a big fight at the end of the introductory that everybody has to do. It's the same thing, and Jason described it in his post just now. Fighting the big worm. Yeah, you'll know it when you see it, and it doesn't take long. It's almost literally the next thing you do once you turn in your Minotaur head.
Okay. I will knock that out in the morning now.
Yeah, it's no deal. Hell, you can wait until we actually stream, and it won't take you but a minute or two. It's a big worm.
It took me longer to go through all of the character creation than it did to go through the newbie tutorial zone.
As you might expect, they've drastically streamlined all of that. It's an old game, so they've taken out a lot of the stuff that there used to be at low levels. I remember new characters in that game. You'd spend up to an hour in the introductory zone before you fought the worm to get out. Now it's snap done. Howdy, Stephen. It looks like we lost Mr. Meeks and Logan. It also looked like they were having a particularly hard time with their internet connection. Oh, get this over here. Well, that might work.
I need you all to keep your fingers crossed that my department gets to actually start using this new system I'm currently in the beta test for. Because it's nice.
So
It's
the upgrade is
broken,
actually
but
an
it's
upgrade?
nice. Oh my God,
Wow.
yes. They have been using our current system since the 90s.
Oh, wow.
It is a DOS-based system.
I remember going into DHS offices with Mom, and it was all dumb terminals at the time. Is that kind of what you mean by DOS-based?
I don't know, because I don't know what they looked like back then. I mean,
It's all character based.
we've got Windows on the machines, but the program itself is in text format.
Right. That's what I meant right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like alphabet soup trying to find the screen you need.
It made sense to some developer at the time.
Apparently.
It was probably, well, no, it wasn't cutting edge technology. This is a government, but it was probably at least somewhat technological back in the 90s or whenever they had the system.
Well, the thing about software for government and banks and other large institutions is that it is incredibly expensive to develop, and once in place, incredibly expensive to replace. Many times more difficult to replace, because now you have a system that works at least, and you don't want to break the data that you've accumulated over these 20 years. It's the data normalization alone is like, God.
Yeah, we're working with real data in next week's set of tests to see if we can break it with that stuff. I did lots of breaking last week. Yeah.
Hey, they got it right to get an old video game data tester in there, because everybody else is like, kid glove, and we're like, how can I break this system?
Yeah, my coworker's like, I didn't do much because I didn't want to break it. I'm like, no, that's the point. You have to break it.
They want you to break
it.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the QA guys at the mortgage company I used to work with? I think you'll appreciate it given your recent experience. Eaton. was his name. And the project managers, the vice president over the project managers called him Eaton, the people's hero. Because that was the thing. He went out there and broke things and made sure that the people, the clients, weren't going to get crap before release. And they actually had they got him a wrestling belt, one of the wrestling trophies, and hung it up there, and all of his all the projects that he'd won on, basically, he found so many bugs and this or that, he had them all little stickers, and it was hilarious. You'd walk back there and look for that wrestling trophy, and you knew where to find Eaton, the people's hero. That was his wrestling name.
I miss the days of beta testing back before they did early access and made you pay for beta testing.
Oh God, yeah.
I miss going into Camelot and us discovering that Jordheim had a portal in but didn't have a portal out, and so everybody jammed themselves into Jordheim to see how many people we could get in the city without breaking it.
Not that many, actually.
Yeah. Well, and then somebody found it, because of course then we're like, well, this is a fun idea, but now none of us can get out, and there's nothing in here to kill us, so we can't move. And finally, somebody found a clip at the very back of the city, like one of the sections where you'd clip through the world and fall down and die, and you'd appear back out of the city. And so there was this big long line to go through and fall down through the game clipping section right in the back of this one little house.
I was so proud when I found a little spot in Western Corona in EverQuest 1 that you could jump through on the other side of the river that was along the south part of the zone. You found a hole in the wall you could jump through and run a little ways up and down a hill, and then right off the edge of the world. It's like, yes.
Yeah,
there are two
things in Camelot. Yeah, there are two things in Camelot that the Zen Bassmasters are directly individually responsible for being in the game. Because the pluses by people's name is because Terry's colorblind and kept attacking purples. And I guess they thought it was a good idea at the beginning of this thing that if you hadn't looted your corpse within 60 seconds, the loot became free for all. Like, you could just pick it up. And so I made a level 1 character and ran it out to one of the high-end zones. Didn't matter if I died because you didn't start losing XP until level 10. And so I was wandering around picking up everybody's loot, and then I called up one of the devs and was like, hey, I've got an issue. You need to come in here. And he comes in and I hand him a platinum. And so they decided maybe we shouldn't let people carry other people's loot. Because I was just running, I was getting murdered like constantly, but I would pick up 2 or 3 pieces of loot, and then some level 50 character would slaughter me, and I'd appear back in the city and run back out. And
keep Midgard clean. That's your version of it.
And so that went away at the very next patch.
Oh, welcome back. See,
Yeah, it's being particularly quirky tonight.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, and it kind of looks like we're 7:15-ish and a little bit short on short crude. So I tell you what, why don't we get something accomplished at least? Okay, so make sure everybody is here. Stephen, are you awake? I think you may have actually gone back to sleep. He's not even in game right now. Oh, there he is. Okay.
I'm okay. It had muted me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
Turn the camera off, trying to.
Oh, there's Peg.
I didn't miss Peg.
Technical differences with my computer.
That seems to be the theme of the evening. Poor Logan and Chris over there fighting the internet.
You know, and it's kicked me completely out twice, just out of the meeting.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
I have escalated you once again. Hopefully, we'll get some more.
We'll get figured out. You know, I'm patient,
We shouldn't have to be this patient.
you know. I'm starting to wonder if it didn't stage on the router or something. I don't know.
No, I can see
Well, that's
that
actually something.
But you did. Yeah.
there's line problems right now.
Like, this is a little more normal. So I'll run a picture tonight.
Hey,
Try to see.
one trick, you mentioned something the other week, and I'd forgotten I was going to mention this. I forgot to chime in. You talking about tabs. It would be better if you had things open in tabs rather than in windows.
Hmm.
When you pop open a character sheet and it opens up as a window,
Yeah, I've got a different test.
so you know how to switch them to be tabs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got them broke out, but
Well, when you
So I
break
guess I
them out as a window,
yeah.
you can right click or you can left click on the top left corner, and one of the options on the hold down is convert to tab.
Okay, let's see if that'll help.
And that lets you set them up as tabs across the top of the browser window instead of. Anywho,
All right. Well, well, let's shove off with who we have here. Okay. And as a reminder, I like to use sounds, so I'll try not to make it too loud or obnoxious. Everybody prepared for that? Yes, maybe? Okay.
Yes, maybe.
So let's start with what's going on up here. Dawa is not there. All right. Let's see here. Where is that silly thing? All right. A tense moment. You just learned that based on the rather amazing rolls that you got from your Central team, Gonzalez and Quinn, that this guy, if it will let me, okay, enter. Oh yeah, I can do it this way. Somebody want to share the screen?
yeah, I'm working on it.
That guy is nearby. By the way, that's a full character sheet, and trying to see if I can make it so that you can actually see the character sheet. That'd be good. But I kind of wanted you to be able to. One of the amazing things that's come up, visible. Yeah. Okay, I had to. Don't make any rolls off of this, but this will allow you to see the actual character sheet, I think.
Yeah, Chris,
Your ships have character sheets. What's that?
Yes, it's loading, but it appears to be there.
Okay, good deal. All right. You'll notice also that there's a character sheet for the Carson. If you go to your notes tab, and let me actually make sure that you have, yeah, you should be able to see its attributes as well. So, the
It's not coming.
The Carson option is fine.
okay.
Can you pop that curtain back up again?
Well, you should be able to pop it up yourself, but yeah, let me do so.
I'm looking for it and I don't see it.
It should be at the very top of the list.
There it is.
Yeah,
I meant the bird of prey.
that is the bird of prey.
It's just, oh, okay. Yes, I see it. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, okay, there you go. Now I can see it. I was having difficulty seeing it. Okay. So the thing I wanted to point out is, and this will be something useful. Let me turn this down a little bit. You get the point. And this here is that the these character sheets for the ships have similar characteristics to a character sheet for people, except naturally those are more attuned to the ship. Now the ship will, when you do something with the ship, the reason that I have the Carson able to be controlled by everybody is that the Carson will help you as though a character were assisting you. So we'll go over that if it becomes important later. If you compare the tactical readout of the Bird of Prey and the Carson, you'll see that they're fairly evenly matched. Sanith is giving you that your helmsman, because normally it'd be Dom doing this, is doing the tactical analysis. The major difference between the two ships, differences, are that the Bird of Prey is much smaller than the Carson, not as tough. The Carson, believe it or not, is actually much more maneuverable than the Bird of Prey. Better engines, more powerful engines.
Matthew.
Hmm?
On the the IKS ship, I see Starfleet personnel file as the character sheet. On the USS Carson, I see the NPC character or NPC starship character sheet.
Okay, well, on the IKS one, I see NPC ship here. So click that. That you see, there's a gear.
I do.
Up.
I do.
And one of the options under sheet type should be NPC ship.
Okay, thank you.
And hopefully that
There it is.
makes it okay. And does it change any numbers? It doesn't look like it did.
Yes.
Okay, everything looks right. At least it does here. Okay, good. All right. Cool. Okay. The where were we? Smaller, not as tough. The Carson's actually more maneuverable, but the Bird of Prey has a couple of advantages in that it can cloak, and its weapons or systems are pretty devastating, particularly the photon torpedoes. So it has phaser cannons rather than just a phaser bank. Now, all that said is by this time, after 2 years of war with the Klingons, Starfleet has a pretty good idea of the capabilities of Klingon cloaking devices. And if you've watched any Trek, then you know this part. There's a momentary power surge when cloaking and decloaking. And during that time, the ship that is cloaking or decloaking cannot attack and doesn't have shields. So if you're quick enough, you have an opportunity to land a good solid hit. But once they've gotten past that, and that time period lasts only a few seconds, then they can quickly be fully operational, combat effective, or cloaked and out of there. The other thing, and this is Gonzalez in particular is marveling over this, is the Carson's computer system. Once you figured out that there was a cloaking vessel nearby and you started tracking where it probably was, pulled this up. The computer on the Carson is an M1. It is the state-of-the-art duotronic system that you find in Constitution-class cruisers. It is incredibly advanced, and it was able to pull this record, identify the ship by name because it's been encountered by Starfleet before, its mission profile, even a possible list of who the captain might be, which might be useful for later, and also this detailed tactical readout of what it was at the time it was encountered last during the war. That's not something that Gonzalez has encountered before. The ship's computer and its data banks and processing capability is most impressive. So there you have it. What do you want to do with it? And Captain's wandered off. So Zizi, the first officer, she points out that, well, we know they're here. They know we're here, but they probably don't know we know they're here. So we have a little bit of time to decide what to do.
So right now, weighing all this information that's coming in all at once, one thing we need to do is notify the away team, hey, this is the situation we're dealing with up here. How's yours? And you need to be ready to give coordinates for being back in case of emergency. And I also notify our sister ship out here, the
Tom
Tug.
Brantz.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Telluride captain. She we'll do that conversation first. She takes all that in and is a little surprised. Of course, the Tug had no clue that was the case. They did not pick this up, and even though you've told them, they still don't see it. They don't have the computer and sensors that you do. But she acknowledges that and then says, well, we've detached the 3 cargo pods and are about to pick up 3 to return to the construction site. How would you like us to proceed?
So as of right now, proceed as normal. Anything we do that could give away that we know their presence is here besides communication is going to make things a lot tougher. Because we can outrun them. We might be, the Tug can't.
Yeah.
And we don't have the defensive capabilities to really take one on. I'm going to notify Starbase, but they're too far out really to do anything to help. All I can do is just say, hey, this is the situation. So proceed as normal. And what may happen is I send you off and cause a distraction, try and give you as much time as possible. That's worst case scenario, but it gives your ship a chance and your crew a chance to get out.
Understood. It'll take about 3 hours for us to finish gathering the pods and attaching them and locking them in place. And at that point, we'll be ready to warp.
And by my thinking is that's when they're going to be ready to make their move. And hopefully I can come up with a plan to counteract that move.
I hope you do. Tom, brace out. So, Clock, while Cap's thinking about this some more, make a control engineering roll. Task roll. Do you remember how to do that from before?
We shall see.
I know it's been a month. No, you make that roll and then, back to the Cap.
Yep.
So you're hearing from the transporter room now. Do you remember Chief Tim? Captain, transporter room. We're unable to maintain a lock on the away team. There's a lot of ionizing radiation and interference from storms.
How will that affect the cloaking?
They're not on, unless they're on the planet. It won't.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I rolled something.
let's see what you got.
I don't have a clue if I rolled the right thing or not, but I rolled something.
Okay, got it. Control engineering and no successes. All right. So when you try to raise Dawa and the away team, this is what you get. So yeah, a whole lot of nothing.
Nice. Hey.
So it'll be up to you to report that.
And I do.
I kind of just throw my hands up and just be like, well, monitor the situation whenever you get a chance to communicate with them. Let them know the situation. Let them know we won't be able to beam them back from the planet surface. I have to send them a ride.
And with that, we switch scene. We're going to be bouncing back and forth between ground and ship. All right. Hopefully this isn't too loud. That's a little loud. Okay. So, Dawa, yeah, great, perfect. Okay, I can see that you're getting the dynamic lighting stuff. All right. So you've descended probably about 150 feet, several flights of stairs, into this underground mining facility. And while you're on the way down there, Brian, you're the guy that came out to pick you up. He's been chatting with the engineers. You know, Baxter, what sort of facility is this? Oh, it's a gravitic containment, laser dislodge. You know, deep core mining. How far down do you go? Actually, probably about 2,000 miles. And what? 2,000 miles? Aren't you going to cause a volcano or something? No, this is a geologically dead planet. There's no tectonics. I mean, the core's still molten, but you know it's solid all the way down to probably 4,000 miles. And that's the discussion. You know, that as they're going down, you're going down the stairs, and you're kind of glancing over your shoulder, kind of wishing they'd shut up so that you could, you know, concentrate. All right, but you do get to the bottom, and I'll spare you the sound of machinery there. And okay, everything looks so far kind of normal. You don't see additional indications of others that have passed before you. You know, you saw the door had been opened, perhaps by force up top. So when you get down here, what would you like to do?
So no indication of anybody having been down here.
Not yet. You did see, actually, let's make you roll for it. Let's see. How about a reason security roll?
Reason security.
And as a freebie, I'll let your engineers use their tricorder. They are not the best at it, by the way. They're engineers. They fix things. Okay. I'll be damned. Okay. You don't see evidence of something, but Chamberlain back there, who's actually fairly experienced, he points out that, well, Lieutenant, near as I can figure, these all of these security doors should be closed. And there's definitely signs of tampering here on the panels. And indeed, you're seeing that every security door that you pass has been opened. The first one up top looks like it may have been pried open, but down here, not so much. You know, looks like somebody jury-rigged their way past. This is about the time that the Carson's trying to raise you, but of course, you don't hear a peep.
Yeah. Okay, so I assume these over here are the security doors.
Yeah, where you see the safety lines. Again, they're all pulled back. None of them are where they should be.
So does this place mine and then?
Yeah, Brian is having to kind of raise his voice to get over the noise because it's very loud down here. Yeah, the central chamber is just a little bit further in. Basically, we have an array of lasers that fire out and are directed down wherever they need to go. Then we have essentially a tractor beam that goes down the column and pulls loosened rock straight up, and it hits we kind of sort it at the top. Anything we don't need, we eject on the surface about 2 miles towards the refinery, big slag mountains. But anything we do need, we have a basically a conveyor type system that takes it into the refinery, another 10 miles.
Where were these people that were injured recently?
They're in one of these facilities, something like this. Not this one. This is G5. Yeah, we've got like 40, 50 of them scattered around. They come in modules. They're big modules where we just dig a hole, bury them, fill in the hole, you know, so the weather doesn't get to them, and then turn them on. They got self-contained power and everything. And the Lindsay, your other security guy. Doesn't that mean there should be a crew manning this one? Yeah. Probably they're usually about 3 or 4 guys at each site.
Where would they be at?
There's a control room further in. We'd have to get past the laser drill to get to it.
All right, well, let's head that way.
Okay. Move like 4 or 5 squares at a time. And that way I'll have this group kind of follow you.
And that's off to the left.
Well, you can get to it either way.
Okay, hold on a second.
These rooms that are to our left and right are the main energizers from the power plant. You don't want to be anywhere close to those induction coils. And your team kind of falls in behind you. And sure enough, you can see, that energy discharge. You got I didn't have a sound effect for it, but you have the nice electric bzzz. Oh yeah, that corridor, that's just kind of a service corridor. It goes back to the power plant. You'd have to keep going in the direction that you're going straight to get to the laser drill.
What, this way?
Yeah. Chamberlain pipes up and says, yeah, the drill's going to be up just to your left there, Lieutenant, around this corner. There's a hell of a lot of energy there.
If the control room's on the other side of the laser drill, is there a way to get to the control room without going through the laser drills?
What's supposed to happen is we get to about this point and call the control room and let them know that we're here. And there you are. Maybe you scroll back up. Hold on. You see him right here.
Oh. They're very faint.
Yeah, they are, because it's very bright in there. So it's almost like being blinded by white light. All right. But hold on, let me I wonder why that's showing up a little differently. Well, it's not important. Anyway, yes, you see those. Let me find the right thing for it. So tied up against those pipes are slumped over figures in the same sort of outfit that Brian's wearing, miners. So we get this. And yeah, sure enough, Brian gets up there and says, "Oh my God, that's the crew." And he rushes out there real quick before you can stop him. Charlie, wake up. Chamberlain comes up next to you, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
All right. And he goes up there and tries to render aid. What do you do, though? Damn. Okay. Yeah, as you're pondering, Chamberlain looks over his shoulder. It's alive, Lieutenant. Unconscious. Lieutenant. Stab wound.
Yeah.
All of
right.
them. And sure enough, from where you are, you can see where the uniforms have been sliced open, lacerations. Lots of blood loss.
All right. Okay, well, I have first aid as a focus.
All right. So they kind of pile in like that. All right, give it a shot.
Lindsay, keep an eye out.
Yes, sir.
How bad off are they? That was
So the two that you could reach from here, without having to cross one of those laser beams, they're pretty bad. The lacerations are not life-threatening. There are a couple of deep stab wounds that were bleeding profusely, but you're not sure what sort of internal damage those did. That's the problem with wide, sharp things. They tend to cut things, and when you remove them, those cut things continue to bleed.
Yes.
Roll, let's see, security and reason again. Between you and Chamberlain, that's good enough to stabilize those guys. Oh, yeah. Rock on. You've seen a wound like this before. In fact, you've seen it a lot. Klingon daggers.
Yes.
Whenever and the way that you tell is the daggers have a large head, flares back to a fairly narrow body, but there are two prongs that come out. They grab hold of the target, so you actually see the pattern, a slice, and then two indentations on the side of it where at the deep cuts. Yeah, Klingon daggers. And you get that look in your face, and Chamberlain just looks up at you, sir.
Klingons.
Yeah, and everybody tenses up.
How deep are we? Asked Brian.
Oh, we're probably about 50 meters straight down. And you hear a booming voice. You're not quite sure what direction it's coming from. Starfleet! What a wonderful surprise. Do me a favor and keep your weapons. Make a security control roll real quick. Let's see here. Gotta grab hold of them. Well, hello there, Oracle. No, I can't see the screen. Thank you. Hang on, buddy. Down you go. As you're scanning the room, looking around for him, Lindsay says, "Sir, behind us." And you don't see what he sees, but you hear a disruptor fire. There are a few of these. I see. Won't take long. Here we go. Oh, it's too loud. Thank you. Okay, so here we have combat. So this was essentially a surprise round. You didn't know where they were, even though being typically Klingon, they announce themselves and want you to fight. The fight begins with a shot from one of the Klingons, and that is a daring security roll with a difficulty of 2, targeted against Lindsay. Okay, buddy, I see you. All right, come on. There you go. Easily down.
Hey.
And missed. But you saw where the disruptor blast came from. It came from down this axis hallway over here. So don't really have initiative. So I'm just going to add you, and we'll go in order like that. And right now, all you know about is the one guy. Like so. Okay. Dawa, in terms of movement, let's say that you can, in a round, this is where Starfleet Adventures breaks down. They don't have clear rules on movements, initiative. It's all zones. Yeah. So it doesn't go well with a miniatures type setup. But we're going to make something up. Take your finesse and divide it by 2. And that's how many squares you can move it around. That'll get you.
Okay.
For you, that's what, 6, 5? Yeah, let's round down. Call it 5. Well, if you probably, yeah, for you it's 6.
12.
Yeah, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong guy. So yeah, go for it.
Hold on a minute. I'm looking up.
Oh, and this right here, this kind of a catwalk that it's 10 feet up, but clearly visible. It's like a mesh floor.
I'm looking up. Okay. All right. And I will take a shot. So that is
daring and security with a base difficulty of 2.
okay.
And unlike other systems, there is no dodging. With a ranged attack, how are you going to dodge a laser beam? So there is a mechanism to try to not take the worst of it if you do get hit, but you get hit or you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a miss. Lindsay comes up here, takes kind of cover under the catwalk, and you can see this guy. Let me see what Lindsay sees from there. Yeah, and he too tries to take a shot. Same thing. It's going to be daring, security, 8 of 2, go. I'll be damned. Okay, so Lindsay gets a hit. He's got a phaser rifle. So here comes the damage part. Lindsay set his with. You can declare an attack to be lethal or non-lethal. Some weapons you can't do non-lethal damage with, but a phaser you can. You can do stun. So he's got his set to stun and does this. All right, so what does all that mean? So the numbers, total of 4, is the damage that was actually done. And all those little Starfleet symbols are effects. If the weapon had an effect, then it would take effect. Since he set it to stun, then we'll call that how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So the Beck falls off the catwalk. Pew, stun. And we have a good one for this. If he broke his leg or what. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Chamberlain whips out his tricorder. And again, this isn't his forte, but he's going to see if there are others around. Try to pinpoint their location for you. Damn. Lieutenant, another target further down that alley, further down that access way.
Roger.
And Baxter draws his phaser, and he's just got a phaser 1 engineer. That's standard kit, and is hanging with you. Not going to get ahead of you, but when you go down there, he'll go with you.
Okay.
All right. And Brian whips out this. God knows what the hell it is. It's probably a slug thrower of some sort. And says, mutter something that the universal translator actually doesn't catch, and starts down this way. Looks like he's going to try to skirt the beam to get to the control room. All right. So a gentleman comes up there. I think I'll move him so you can see him. But he's actually firing from undercover and takes a shot at you, Dawa. Dawa, this is obviously an officer. This is not the guy that Lindsay stunned was just a warrior, low-level Beck. This guy has some rank on him. He's got the sash and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And he's also carrying a rifle. There goes. Aren't you a lucky bastard? You hear some sort of muttered curse in Klingon. And he disappears back into the shadows. All right. And give me just 1 second before it's your turn. Got to do something real quick. Make sure it's on this layer. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Haven't really had any sort of need for the fancy stuff yet, so he's doing something else. Well, okay. Now it's your turn.
So this over here is underneath the catwalk, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you got above and below there. And if you need to, you can fire up through it.
He was up on the catwalk?
He was up on the catwalk. And like I said, Baxter's just shadowing you as you move. Let me move him with you. Where'd he go? I think you're faster than Baxter, so he probably doesn't make that far.
I've only
right
moved
next to the
4.
Beck. Okay. That's as far as he gets. But yeah, you turn around the corner and you don't see the officer. And there's not a lot of places. Well, hold on. There are a lot of places where he could hide if he so chose. You've got equipment, nooks and crannies every damn where. Oh, geez. What a nightmare. What do you want to do with it?
I want to prep a shot for if I see him. And
All right.
cover this corridor.
When he makes his move, we'll give you a roll to make sure that you see him. Lieutenant, that you hear Lindsay calling from behind, asking for instructions. Yeah, he's back up here.
Move up a bit, but keep an eye on our rear.
Roger that. And he just does the same thing. He swaps cover. And
Chamberlain, get under cover.
right. Chamberlain. All right. Let's see here. These engineers have been doing pretty good. All right. Give him this roll. Can't pick him up, sir. And Baxter is still standing with you. And Brian, you can't see him, but he's continuing that charge, carefully trying to skirt around the laser to get to the control room. Okay. Roll a security reason roll. And this is opposing what he rolled a little bit ago.
Okay, what is hold on just a minute. When you buy one or more D20s by adding to threat, you may reroll a single D20. What does that mean?
Okay. So remember, we talked about there's a threat pool and a momentum pool.
Yes.
So you can give me, the DM, a pool of stuff to play with. That's the threat pool, by saying, okay, I need to re-roll this. I really need to re-roll this. Here's a point of threat for you, DM. I'm re-rolling it. By the way, that's also something you can do with determination. Determination acts like force points. Everybody starts off with like at least 1 point of determination per game. So you're going to burn some threat and re-roll something?
Well, what it is, I've got that reroll a single D20 thing. That is for I've got bold security. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Wondering if it would be worth spending a.
Well, you're about to roll to see if you see the guy do what he's about to do. So you decide. And this was going to be a reason security roll. So, and you can re-roll that after the fact. So let's see what you get, and then we'll see what happens. That would not be enough to see what he's about to do.
Okay.
You want to re-roll that?
Yes.
All right. You can just select one on your task roll and just re-roll the one, and we'll see if you get it. You do. That son of a gun has managed to climb up to the piping and power conduits that's above this access conduit, and is about to leap down on you with a batleth.
Well, I guess I'm going to take a shot at him as he comes down.
And he's still going to get that hit. But yeah, we'll give you that shot. Because that was you noticing it, Baxter's not going to get a shot this round, but go for it.
So
you take your shot first, and we'll do the melee thing.
Security and...
Daring and security. Do you have any, remember focuses? Do you have any focuses that might apply here? I think it's
not
important.
not to the shot, no, but I have
Okay.
I have hand-to-hand combat.
Well, that'll apply here momentarily. So go for it.
And I miss wildly.
Hey, you can still re-roll one if you want. Anyway. Okay. So this gent, now the melee combat rules are a little different. You'll notice I also in your, I'll just show this to everybody. Here's a little cheat sheet for stuff, including summaries of roles and what all these nonsensical things do. But melee is, let's see. Melee is an opposed task, daring and security, base difficulty of 1, and you also get to roll daring and security with a base difficulty of 1 to oppose it. But you, since you have the hand-to-hand combat ability, can add a dice. So instead of your 2 dice, you get 3. Okay. Let's see here. Alrighty. Actually, I was engineer, but still, we'll take the roll. Batleth. So a Batleth has the effect of Vicious 1, meaning any of those little Starfleet symbols that it rolls is actually counted as 1 damage instead of just an effect.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pew! With the Batleth. That's taken away from your you have a lot of
Stress.
hit points. Yeah. So but you took a nice little hit there.
Let's see.
Yeah, I filled it up 17 of 17. If you go down, it'll show it like
Yeah.
everybody's used to. Yeah.
There it goes.
Okay. Smack. And so, oh yeah, and I suppose we'll lose my mouse. The appropriate music for that is right, as we all know and love. All right, you're up.
Okay, I guess we're in melee now, so
You're in melee.
I'm going to melee him. Hand to hand.
Go for it. It's you get to roll 3 dice. It's the same thing. Remember, select 3. There you go. Okay, so you got it. And then he opposes that, but he only gets to roll 2. He has to beat the number of successes you had. Well, okay. So he parries with a Batleth, but just barely.
B or equal?
Equal. Defender gets it. That's gonna play to your benefit one of these days too. Now, again, a reminder: you can burn threat if you want to try to re-roll that 1 to overcome his defense.
I don't want to give him that much threat.
Yeah, it'll come back to haunt you pretty quick. Okay. Lindsay, who you would expect to help you actually doesn't. You hear the phaser fire behind you, but not in your direction. Okay. All right. And then the engineer, Chamberlain. Yeah, that's good. And you hear, you're busy, but you hear Chamberlain says, 2 more just came down. They're behind us. Baxter doesn't want to fire into the melee. So he tries to come up and help you grapple with the officer. All right. Okay. Let's see, the officer pulls it off. Oh, yeah. And okay, he's actually made it to the halfway there. All right. So this is against you, Dawa. Okay. Yeah, no problem. You got it. And then you hear disruptor blast from behind you. Ooh, that one might go into the other one. That one does not. Because Lindsay's undercover, the difficulty was raised from 2 to 3. But the one did manage to 3. So let's see. Your pistol. Vicious 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against Lindsay. So You hear Lindsay go, ah, but he's not down. Back to you, Dow. So yeah, things have gotten serious all of a sudden. Now you have 3 Klingons, both sides of you. Okay. Still melee?
Yes.
All right. Officer with the batleth. Okay. Yeah, you're just spot on with each other. Lindsay tries to area effect stun. Phasers are versatile. No. But they're undercover too, so let's see how this goes. Doesn't pull it off. Chamberlain comes up with his phaser to help Lindsay. Takes a shot at one. This will be security and daring. And nope. And he's back undercover. And then Baxter with you, Dawa. Oh. Okay. Let's see what our Klingon friend does about that. He gets punched in the face. Okay, so let's see what the engineer does. There is an effect knockdown to unarmed strikes. And he gets one. Also, Klingons have a racial advantage that they get resistance in versus melee attacks, but not against that effect. And how resistance works, it's an opposed damage roll. Yeah. I thought I entered 2. Okay. So he would have only taken 1 point of damage, but we're going to say he still gets knocked down. Okay, so the Klingon is on his arse. Brian, you can't see what he's doing. Okay. And then the Klingons. All right. Start with these guys shooting at Lindsay. Nope. And nope. And the officer who just got knocked down tries to get back up on his feet. So let's say that you Dawa get an attack as he's trying to stand up. Okay. And the officer, he needs to beat it rather than match it because he's at essentially has the disadvantage of being. Oh no, he doesn't beat it. All right. So go ahead and roll the damage for your attack there. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and then that'll keep them on the ground. Let's see if any of that damage actually gets through. Come on, seriously? I guess you have to enter to get that to hold. Yeah, it all gets through. 1, 2, 3. Dawa, your turn. The officer is splayed on his back. He tried to get up. You knocked him back down. He's grinning at you.
Of course, he's grinning at me. He's having a fun time.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm having better luck hitting with punching the guy than I would with a phaser.
Yeah, you have a pretty good left hook.
As the original series intended.
That's right. You need to have torn uniforms and everything, right?
Well, I have been hit with a batless.
You have, so you have a torn uniform. That's right. Okay.
So I go hand in hand again.
He still gets to try. He's got the batless, so he can still, but he has to beat your roll, not just match it. And he doesn't, so go for it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. All right there. Okay. Now it looks like he's still having fun, but he's having fun with bruises. It's like half of his face isn't responding like it should be. There's blood soaking his beard. He looks a bit beat up. Lindsay fires at those folks, misses. Chamberlain fires at those folks. Okay, maybe. Let's see. Let's give it to him. Phaser type 1 on stun. Hey, look at that. So one of them gets stunned. Okay, that's not what I needed. Yeah. Come on, you. Baxter, who's with you, tries to punch the guy. Okay. And our Klingon officer, much abused at this point, does manage to hold it off with the bat'leth. Brian. And that's when you hear it. Behind you, you hear a klaxon go off. Burp, burp, burp. Three bursts, and then you hear the security doors start to close, rising from the floor. That puts a little fight in the officer's eyes. He gets this grim expression on his face and decides, heck with the bat'leth. He pulls out his disruptor pistol. All right. And fires it at you as he's trying to scurry away to get enough distance so he can stand back up. Okay, and that would hit. All right. Vicious one. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Ouch. Very close.
I'm not dead yet.
And the security doors close behind you, so the remaining Beck that was standing can't get to you to fire. Awa, your turn. You've taken a bat'leth and a disruptor blast, and ow.
I guess I'll take a phaser shot at him.
Okay, that does it. What do you want your setting to be?
Stun.
All right. Yeah, he's out. What? Cat? The cat made the world go away. What happened? Hold on. Yeah, he rolled over and minimized the map, zoomed way out. Okay, hold on here. That's better. Yeah, so the officer goes down, and you kind of stagger and lean against Baxter. Sir, you don't look so good.
Don't feel so well.
And at that point, the lasers start shutting down one by one. And I'm not sure why, but I actually can't see the other lasers from my perspective, but just rest assured they are shutting down. Oh, that's probably why. Too back. Okay, Cat is making this a little more difficult than it should be. But let's say everybody regroups. There we go. Chamberlain tries to do a little bit of medical type work on you. Good enough to stabilize you. You'll live. Let's drag all these guys out there too.
Drag them out. Disarm them.
Yep. You're there. Lindsay's there. Okay. And let's get our buddy Brian. Cat, come on, man. Let me operate the game. All right. Good deal. So the situation is stabilized, but now you're kind of trapped in here. You know there's at least one more Beck out there. But Brian says, unless they override the locks again, we're pretty safe in here. But there's only one way out. Unless you can get your ship.
We'll never get through the interference, but I'll try. And I will try to contact the Carson.
Okay. There we go. Now I finally get the maps back where they should be. So, Clock, roll your comms and your engineering and control again.
That would be easier to do, except I can't find it. There it is. Control and engineering. Okay. There it is.
Okay. So let me introduce you to a new mechanic. You're not doing this by yourself. You've got the ship to help you. So pull up the Carson's character sheet. If you look on your notes, and he can maybe show you where that is.
Okay, I've got the Carson's character sheet pulled up.
All right. And under Systems, select Communications.
Okay.
And under Department, select Engineering. And Starship Task Roll, just select one. You only get one die when the ship is helping you. But roll that, and there you go. So the ship gave you, using the ship systems, gave you an additional success. And that'll be enough to put you over the top.
Go.
So the gobbledygook that you were getting before finally resolves into the voice of Chamberlain. Carson, this is a away team. Can you read? And
Yeah,
you
we're
kind of wonder
hearing you.
why is it Chamberlain instead of Dawa? The lieutenant's hurt. We've just been in a firefight with a bunch of Klingons.
Oh, bloody hell. We're trying to avoid a firefight with some Klingons up here. We'll see what we can do.
Status report.
Apparently,
well,
they've got Klingons downstairs.
Figures. If there's
Slightly
Klingons
more-
upstairs, it's most likely they'll be downstairs too.
Sounds like these are a little bit more proactive than ours.
They are Klingons. All right. Do we have the ability to beam them out?
So, Bricklin, roll a. I know. This will be a control engineering roll from you. Any focuses that you have that might apply here?
Let's see. Let me look.
Don't worry, Eric. We're gonna turn you into a million little atoms, and then we're gonna depend on the roll of dice to decide whether you reassemble or not.
Another systems
All right.
engineer.
Quinn has transporters and replicator focuses and sensor imaging. If she can be of assistance.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then any individual can assist another character making a task roll. But only one person at a time, though. Only one assist. And since you're using the ship systems, the ship itself can also assist. So, you, Chris, go ahead and make your roll as just described.
All right.
And then you, Quinn, make the same roll, but you only get to use one dice.
All right. The focus won't add another.
Yeah, it would actually. So you get two.
Task roll, what attribute?
This is going to be control and engineering. There's two so far. 4. Oh, God. And then the ship. We'll go ahead and let you do the ship. Chris, you're the one doing all this.
Yeah, I'm trying to get pulled up as we speak.
And where did my ship go? Okay.
One.
The cat closed my ship. The cat destroyed the Klingon ship, so
There's a catastrophe.
I know it. So for you, this will be, let's call it, sensors engineering. One dice on the ship. And you put all that together, and you're probably going to get like a royal flusher. Damn. To Dawa, to your surprise, Chamberlain looks up at you and says, yeah, they have a pretty hard lock. They're ready to beam us out.
Grab the Klingon officer. Bring him with us.
What about the Beck?
Plus, this is good sensors.
Yeah, good sensors. That is absolutely right.
His buddies can take care of him whenever they get through the security doors. And we're bringing
You got
the other guy with us.
and the 4 miners that were injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sure enough, you get this whole crew beams up. There are enough of them that it takes 2 transporter cycles. But Joan, you awake?
I am.
You're the chief medical officer.
Yeah.
So you hear that the lieutenant there got beat up pretty good. So you're there, and also there are some serious injuries amongst the miners.
Yes.
All right,
So
so
we
here's your
will
chance.
see what we can do to patch them up.
So it'll be medicine and reason to kind of work through
All right.
this. So, then do you have any focuses that might apply?
Emergency medicine.
So that's 3 dice that you can roll.
All right. So that's the task roll one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's good enough. Dawa is actually going to pull through fine. The batleth laceration looks that nasty, make a nice scar, but it's a disruptor that is far more serious.
Right.
But even that's not life threatening. He'll pull through in short order.
Alrighty.
The 4 miners, on the other hand, they're in bad shape. There's no telling how long they were just left hanging there by the Klingons.
Okay.
So, yeah, you take them down to sick bay. Some of them are going to need surgery. Some just need rest. But that's what's going to keep you busy here for a little while. That roll was enough
All
to
right.
stabilize them, so you don't lose any of the 4.
Oh, good deal.
And all this information comes up to you, Belmont. You have the 4 miners. They're in sick bay. Dawa was briefly in sick bay, but has been released. He'll be staggering up here shortly as soon as he puts on a new shirt.
So, list of things I want, information I want. First is I need to communicate to Kite and Marl, as I'm sure he has no idea, or he might know, but I'm going to play this close to my chest when I talk to him. The other thing I send, kind of tell my bridge crew is I want to know the capabilities of our probes, because I'm going to try and use these probes to our advantage with this Klingon ship hiding out in the rings of that, hiding out.
Okay. Hopefully, folks read the little blurb about the probes that I posted earlier this week.
Probe's dangerous.
Probes can be
Yes,
dangerous.
I did.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If you haven't read it, actually,
Trying to put proximity triggers on them, but yeah.
Well,
let me read it real quick. It's not very long. This will answer your question, I think. So this was an excerpt on the tactical uses of probes by Garth of Izar. Starfleet often overlooks probes as weapons for offense or defense. A standard Class 5 probe is an autonomous, impulse-driven spacecraft that can be fitted with a variety of module packages. Most of these modules are various sensors and communications mission packages, but modules to carry mines, or for electronics warfare to jam communications and sensors, or for decoy operations broadcasting sensor shadows or anomalies, or as simple projectiles armed only with kinetic energy. During the Romulan War, a small probe was launched, brought up to near luminal velocity, and rammed into the surface of an airless moon with such destructive power as to wipe out a nearby surface installation unprepared for the attack. Such is the power of the probe, a simple device with devastating potential against the unwary and complacent. And you have 300 of these.
One of them keep up with the starship.
Pardon?
Can one keep up with the starship? Can we have one out and about to kind of look over our shoulder, give us a second set of eyes out there?
Yeah, they can easily keep up with the Carson. They just can't go to war.
Right. We'll collect them before we do that, if we can.
But launching a probe is, and the first officer will point this out, an indication that we are interested, that something's amiss.
Right.
And if we're trying to keep a low profile,
I didn't want to do it yet, but I'm just trying to think of,
Well, my plan is when the tug is ready, before she leaves, my plan was to shoot probes at the surrounding, rocks surrounding this vessel and try and ram those into the Klingon ship.
If we can pinpoint its location before that.
Yes. So this is something that will all have to happen very, very quickly if the crew's up for it. That's one option. Option two, we wait for the tug to leave, look for that energy spike. Pray we can do the probe in time. If not, we have to possibly fight, which I'd rather avoid with limitations of this ship. So that's sort of what I'm looking at right now.
So for tactical purposes, if you needed to launch probes in a hurry, we'll say that in a round, you could probably launch up to 3 probes. You know,
How many could
Well-
we transport?
We have a bunch.
probably
Through the transporter.
probably 2, but that takes longer than a round to do.
Right. But it doesn't have the same indicators as a launching would.
Except for the fact that the probe is immediately noticeable on sensors. I mean, the probe is not stealthy. It's right
I'm
there.
thinking like,
It's a
Tilbury
launch.
next to an asteroid, or some place to hide.
Range would be a factor. It depends on how far away the asteroid is.
Mhm.
But still, yeah, that's a possibility.
Just
Come here,
thinking
buddy.
ahead here.
Oh yeah, and that's good. That's what you need to be doing, because as Kat points out, you don't want to be in a stand-up fight,
No.
even with a bird of prey like this. You be clever about it.
Well, and
How
that's
much? Go ahead.
now I was about to say that's what I'm trying to think of. It's just something a little outside the box, outside the norm, to try and either destroy, really incapacitate is the best option, because if I can stop that thing from moving and mobilizing, the better. And we can try and get the Galber out here or something bigger, but it'll
So-
probably be gone.
ZZ kind of picks up pulls together the threads that you've thrown out there and says, well, the first thing, sir, I think we need to do, and the most important, is to pinpoint its location.
Agreed.
Simultaneously, we need to prepare some probes for whatever operations we're going to use. So that means, and she looks over at Bricklin, probably electronic warfare packages. We're not going to have time to worry about mines, but the EW packages would be most useful. If we can jam them, disrupt them, confuse them, all the better. And it doesn't matter what package a probe has on it, we can use it as a bullet.
Yeah. Well, probably the electronic warfare is probably going to be the best, because I'll, like you said, disrupt, buys time to reload, and if necessary, use them as projectiles.
So, Bricklin, that's your task. Now, let's see. Hadn't forgotten about Neff. And Neff, this is where you come in. We'll get to here in a moment. So let's do this. Gonzalez and Quinn, being our sensor experts, you have the heavy lift of trying to figure out where the hell this thing is. You just have some indication that it's out here someplace. Now you have to actually pinpoint it, and the tighter the better. Because if you're gonna shoot a bullet at something, you need to be accurate. So you have a difficult sensors roll ahead of you. Probably want to pull out all the stops to make it happen. So first off, let's start with Gonzalez, being the science officer. This is your primary task. People can assist you, the ship can assist you, but it's up to you to make the roll.
All right. Let's come here and look at them.
So this will be a control science roll. Do you have any talents that might apply? And this is the sort of thing that is happening over like the course of an hour. So it's not like, you make the one thing, but you're taking your time and trying to read the instruments and analyze. But still, it's just going to be one roll.
Yeah.
So talents. Do you have any talents that might apply?
He's got two. One's computer expertise, and the other one's in the nick of time.
I love in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Let's give you one between those two. So you'll get to roll 3 dice.
All right.
So go ahead and roll it and see what you get. Ooh, okay. Now you get the ship to help you. And the ship, as we all know, has phenomenal sensors. So, okay, I can't blame the cat for closing it this time. I don't know where the damn thing went. Here we go. Okay. So, pull up the ship's
I got it here.
thing. Okay. And this will be sensors science.
So that's 2.
And roll 1 dice on that.
All right.
And this is the ship's roll.
And if I can assist, I will.
You will.
And
Okay, no help from the ship. And then Quinn. So normally an assist roll is just 1 dice. Again, it's like he rolled just now.
And I have my sensors focus.
That's right. So you'll get 2 dice on. Okay, so we got 3 successes. All right. So here we go. This is what you get for that. So if you zoom in around the area around Blackstone 1, I'm going to borrow one of my tokens. See if I can find it. Is it this one? There we are. Give me a sec. You don't have a precise location on it, but you do know within 1,000 kilometers where it almost has to be. It is hiding in that asteroid field, almost in one of the Lagrange points of Blackstone 1. Like the captain thought, it is in position to attack the Tom Brands. The position that you've charted makes it very easy for it to approach from astern, decloak, in the short order, fire all weapons, and get an alpha strike on the tug. So yeah, that's kind of reinforces what you were worried about, and unfortunately, you don't have that pinpoint accuracy that you were trying to achieve. But nonetheless, you know exactly where to look. It's just 1,000 kilometers in terms of the ability of the ship sensors is nothing. If it were to decloak, you'd know, just because you know where to look.
Just be prepared to fire when that opportunity presents itself.
That's right. So there's that. Now let's get a roll from Bricklin. What do you want to prepare of your 300 probes in stock? And given the directives that you were given, what do you want to set aside and set up for these folks?
I would probably say it'd be an ECM. But
Yeah, how many? And do you want to pull them on in the launcher? Do you want to put some in transporter rooms? I mean, that's the sort of decision you need to make, and then we'll roll for it.
I would probably say we'll try their shipping one to draw attention off. Maybe put a different ship transponder on it. One that they beam around the other side of the asteroid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then keep one loaded as the ECM that could be, targeted to hit with, we saw close.
Okay. So why don't you roll, let's see, control and engineering.
All right. So that's 2.
Yeah. And if you have any focuses that, 2, oh, I see it. Yeah, no problem. You've got the probes lined up and ready for launch, just as you've laid out. We're in any particular issues with you, but remember Neff wandering off the bridge way back when? Okay. So Neff, you've been on the trail of this mysterious extra life form. Tracking it down, using the ship sensors, using a tricorder, just your curiosity is in overdrive and just a little out of control. But hey, why not? That's
I don't
your
know that's out of control. I mean,
yeah, that's your day job, man. That's hey, I'm here. I'm Starling. I'm supposed to be exploring. Hey, what's the problem?
Space hurry.
All right, hey, sir.
which
So you-
type of sea herpes? There's like a lot of classifications there.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to put you right there. So you find yourself near main engineering in this cargo bay area. Just a minute ago, you passed Bricklin, who was muttering about the proper settings on this EWO module, and technical mumble jumbo. It's like, what the hell is he talking about? But he just came out of this same cargo area, and according to the ship sensors in your tricorder, what this life form is somewhere around here.
In the cargo area that I'm currently in.
That's correct.
We'll see if we can't triangulate.
Okay.
Walk around the room, take readings, play a little bit of hot and cold.
So let's do science insight.
Does that mean stuff I can see?
Well, insight would mean stuff you can see inside. So that would be uncomfortable. No, just your character sheet. Click insight. Click science. 2 dice if you have any talents that might apply. More dice.
2 dice.
Yeah, a task roll. You select 2. That's what
Well,
I'm
I've
gonna
got the xenobiology, but I don't know if that's what I'm chasing. So I'll let you tell me if I get more dice.
Sure. Go ahead and tack that one on. So we'll call it 3. Because I guarantee this is Xeno. Okay, you get 2. So you think your tricorder, Trusty Dusty, is telling you that life sign is over here in this pile of crates that has been carelessly left open.
Are you talking about this pile?
Yep.
Well, let's go look. What's supposed to be in these crates?
You're not even seeing my ping, are you?
I did not.
Okay, I see why. Okay, yeah, this pile. Okay, first thing is that this pile of crates is labeled Electronic Warfare Module Kit Mark V probes.
So would I know if these have been used before and have been off the ship and come back, or?
Well, you can check the ship's manifest. I mean, you can look it up.
Certainly need to put that on the to-do list.
And it's you don't even need to roll for it. These are standard electronic warfare modules that to be fitted to probes. At least according to the manifest, they are new. They were delivered to you from Gander Station whenever the Carson was there. They've been on board for about 3 weeks. Again, according to the manifest. And it looks to you that, this thing's been opened. About 10 modules have been removed. Whoever opened it didn't bother to close it. Bricklin. He's in a hurry.
So if I look in the crate that has been opened, does it look like a spot was hollowed out in maybe a stowaway situation? Or
None such. Nothing quite like that. Roll a science control roll this time. And you get to keep your xenobiology.
okay.
Wow. Okay, so the tricorder, okay, we know kind of the pattern to look for. We've been following this life sign for about an hour now. And you go down, do your triangulation trick around the edge of the box, and it's okay, so it has to be here, and here, and here. So that means this package right here. And you hold it up, and the reading's coming off the package.
So
it
the
is
package
one of the electronic
box has been opened.
Yeah, one of the electronic warfare packages.
But only off of one of them, not all of them.
Only off of one. As soon as you remove it, you know that the reading follows the package.
Do we have a lab I could take this to look at in more depth?
You do. Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. All right. So you go down to your office, which is not far from sickbay, where Dr. Mallory is working with her team to try to save those 4 miners. And your office is set up as a lab. So, okay, pop it up. Start poking at it. Do a reason science roll. Pardon?
You gotta take your initial readings, establish a baseline.
Yep. All that good stuff.
You said science what?
Science reason. And this time we'll let the ship help you.
What's that mean?
Okay, so if you look at the list of notes, you'll see that the Carson actually has its own character sheet.
Oh.
And if you open that up, it can roll just like a character can. So we shall say computers, science, and make that a ship task roll with 1 dice, and that'll be the Carson assisting you. Basically, you are using the facilities of the lab. Holy moly, this is going to be pretty epic. That 3 was your last roll?
No, I was going to
okay.
do science reason by myself.
Okay, so 2 there.
And I'm looking. I don't see a sheet for. Oh, I see the character. I was just getting a picture at first. The character sheet's different.
Yeah.
Say computers.
And then science. And you may or may not get something from the Carson. We'll see.
Starship task roll number 2.
Mm-hmm. No, well, okay. Even with 2, it didn't no help there. Okay.
Our ship's not too bright, huh?
Well, it's actually brilliant. But still, that just means you need to spend a little bit more time. Now, you're totally oblivious to what's going on, the preparations for battle that are happening around you. Remember
I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, you're doing your thing. Wait.
A mystery is afoot. What else could I be working on?
So what this means is that you don't come to the realization of what this is until it's about time. It's about showtime. Wait. Okay, hold on. That can't be right. You go check the library computer. You come back. Neurogenics. It's a life reading, but it's not really life. It's a neurogenic weapon system.
Interesting.
A neurogenic weapon is a weapon of mass destruction intended to destroy life on a planetary scale. And they were used in the Klingon War.
I should probably tell somebody about this. Let me take a few notes first.
That's where we'll pause it. But, in fact, yes.
Well, thank you, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay, stop.
It's zooming in on my face, right?
That's right, yeah. The realization of what is this? So, yeah, that's where we'll pick it up next time with Calvin having discovered, unexpected. And then shortly thereafter, our engagement with the bird of prey.
I'm sure there's some innocent reason those were on our ship.
Totally innocent.
A certain Klingon ambassador comes to mind.
It may be worse than you think. I think C knows what I'm talking about, but he probably doesn't know what I'm talking about yet.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I know that's cryptic, but we'll get to that too.
I have a note.
All right, good
deal. The next time someone comes to her med base, she needs to ask them first what kind of insurance they've got and determine whether or not it's good enough to get any treatment.
Dr. Mallory is like, what? Money? What's that?
I'm sorry, Starfleet does not take Blue Cross, so we'll have to deny these miners treatment unless they can come up with $150,000.
It's more like the VA. Take a number and sit over there. Come when you're called. They'd go play on their phone.
Yeah, they give you a 3-digit number and a machine when it goes to 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to see kind of like how ground combat works in the system. Does that make any sense? A lot of scratching your head.
Clear as mud to those of us not there.
It's probably just as well.
It made sense to me, but then I was the one getting ripped a hole in.
Yeah, the tragic lot of the red shirt.
As always, anytime someone gets in melee combat, I think about, do you remember that old webcomic they were doing, DM of the Rings, where the guy was running screenshots from Lord of the Rings and making it out as a Dungeons and Dragons game? Yeah. I just remember when the big octopus thing grabs Frodo, it's swinging around and everybody's standing there looking at it. In the DM of the Rings game, nobody would help him because they didn't want to have to figure out the grapple rules.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. You're on your own.
Mr. Meeks,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for the Thanksgiving invite. When do we need to be there, and is there anything we need to bring?
I think Kay's official statement is noonish. Bring something that you drink. And I can't think of anything special that anybody needs to bring.
Okay.
I'll message her and ask her if I can cook anything. I'm going to bring a couple pies, I believe.
I got you. Well, she was trying to get some of that stuff together. She's working tonight, so you can text her something in the middle of the night. I would like one of your cheese balls. That always says Thanksgiving to me.
Ooh, cheese ball.
That goes over well.
Cheese.
That's right. Cheese.
That was
Cheese always goes over well.
the first thing that hit my mind. I said, "Gee, it'd be nice if they would bring one of those." That's the only thing that's really been discussed. What did anybody bring? I think Hayes got it pretty much figured out. She just has to go get it.
Right.
She's got that kind of schedule for tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not certain if we'll be back in time for old folks gaming tomorrow night. I got to take Logan back, so
All right.
we'll see. But that's what's up. Just be here around noonish.
Thank you, sir.
Sure thing.
All right.
All right, y'all be well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Right.
Have a good one.